big event that we're going to be in preparation for over the next month is our convention. It is time to elect leadership, new leadership, for our Greenwood County Democratic Party. It will be here at 10 a.m. We're going to have it a little later. 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. we will serve lunch. We will have sandwiches. We will have some speakers. But mostly the important thing is we will be voting. As I've announced, I am not running for chair. This would have been my fourth time having run for chair, and I've been chair long enough. So I'm thinking we need new leadership. And I put another form at everybody's tables. It's a lot of words, but I want to take some time to go through this sheet right here. Does everybody have one? And if you have extras to hand out, find a table that's looking for one. But this is a chance for you to step up and join and do with this party as you see fit. I'm not going anywhere. I will be coming to all the meetings. I will still be involved, and I will do everything in my power to help the new leadership transition. You've got me for as long as it needs, so I give you that assurance. So I do want to spend some time here before we get to our speakers. I want to talk about what it is a county party does. We can't enact laws. We're not elected government officials. We can't implement policy. The best we can do is help those of our Democratic Party achieve that and then make the laws and implement the policy. So we are here to support them. And that's what it says at the top of the page. The shared mission of county and the state Democratic Party is to elect Democrats to county, state, and federal offices. That is why we're here. Yes, we're here to learn. Yes, we're here to socialize, to do community service, to be informed, and to educate others. But it all serves the same purpose, and that is to elect. Because unless you're in power, you can't make the change. We can call our current representatives all we want. You think they're going to pass a hate crimes bill? You think they're going to enshrine women's rights? You think they're going to enshrine any type of racial rights? No. So we have to get them elected first and foremost. So what do we have? We have a county executive committee, and all the positions I'm about to talk about are part of that committee. This executive committee meets once a month at our headquarters, Uptown Greenwood, in the Greenwood building, and we go over various things. So we establish goals and objectives. We elect additional positions. We approve budgets. We work on fundraising activities, get out the vote activities. All these things that a county party is supposed to do, we do probably better than most of the county parties in this state. At a minimum, we're supposed to meet once a quarter. How often do we meet, executive committee? Every month. Yeah, I know, it gets exhausting. But things change so fast, we got to stay on top of it. So we meet monthly, and we even develop our own rules. It's a very formal process. We have rules that we have to abide by as well. So in that committee, the top position is the county party chair. That's me. And look at all those bullet points. Boy, please don't let that scare you. At the end of the day, we're all human and we do the best we can. So treat this as a guiding light, not as a mandatory checklist. All right? So you have to know the state party rules and learn about candidate filings and fees, the mechanics of running for office, because we do get involved. And I can help with that, of course. And then there's filing and all these other things, and really it's just you working with the county elections commissioner. In this case, it's Connie Moody, and she walks you through the whole process. But all these other things you grow into and you learn. I remember my first day as chair in 2020, and I was like, well, okay, now what? All right, first of all, it was during the pandemic, so we couldn't get together in person, so we Zoomed the heck out of it, but you learn and you grow and you just get better over time. We didn't have this overnight. This all evolved. You all evolved. These meetings evolved. What we've done in the community has evolved, and you can take what we've started and grow it and change it and adapt it to the changing times. So here are the things that the county party chair does, and truly it is a buck stops here type of situation. And a good county party chair will do what I don't do very well, and that's delegate. I am a terrible delegator. Anybody who's worked with me for years knows that. I would rather do it all myself than bother somebody else. That's really what it is. And I have to get over that, and I will in a future life, but not this one. But as you come in, if you are comfortable saying, hey, can you do this, or will you do that, or I'm going to teach you this, then you're going to be perfectly fine as the county party chair. There are volunteers willing to do it. You just have to be willing to share the load, and that's where I've struggled. The first vice chair is the right-hand person, and by state party, the state party's law, not government law, but the guidelines of the state party, says that the first vice chair should be a person of a gender not the same as the chair. So in this case, Dr. Jamil Brooks is our first vice chair, and she fills that obligation nicely. And she basically takes over when I can't. There was one executive party meeting I couldn't make. She ran it. She ran a breakfast meeting. While I was acting as candidate to Bill Kimler, she ran as the chair of that breakfast meeting. So you're the backup, and you do some organization and some of these other bullet points that are down there, but they're there to help support the executive committee. Then you have the second vice chair, and by county party statute, that should be a person of a race different than that of the chair. Currently, that's Deb Atkinson, and she is in charge when the first and chair can't be there. And then there's that third bullet point, oversees the county party caucuses. That's not something we've done. A caucus is a special interest group, veterans, educators, conservation-minded folk, wildlife and conservation. Whatever the subject is, you can have a caucus for that. We've not done that at the county party, and maybe that's something that we do implement, even if it's 3 or 4 people just getting together to talk about veterans issues and bring it to the county and bring it to the state party. That would be great. But that's what the second vice chair is to do. And then the third vice chair, the only qualification there is that this person cannot be 36 years of age or older. So that narrows it down quite a bit. Matthew Miller, who served that role for 5 years, he has aged out. He is now Old Man Miller, and he is not allowed to be our third vice chair anymore. So this is an open position. But the focus of the third vice chair is to do what we traditionally have not been very good at. This is honest reflection, is the youth engagement. We do have opportunities at Lander University. There's a pair of students who are interested in forming a Democratic club there. We also have to have outreach to the high schools and so on and get the young people involved. Especially as the nightmare of the next 4 years increases, we should be getting more participation from the youth and turn them into activists at this age. And that is the goal of the third vice chair. So these 4 positions are the top chair positions in the county party, and all 4 will be up for election on March 1st right here. Let's turn to the back, because there are many more positions. There's state executive committee members, and we have 2 in audience today. We have the Greens. Mamie and Joe Green have served, Mamie as executive committee woman, Joe as alternate executive committee man. Their goal is to, and I didn't miss anybody, right? Okay. Their goal is to work with the state party. They represent Greenwood to the state. There's 46 counties in the state. Each county has state executive committee people. They meet in Columbia once a quarter. Sometimes it's over Zoom at home, depending on the weather and the season. But they get together to get state updates, to vote on things at the state level, what the state party should be doing or not doing, and bring all that information back to the county. They are the liaison between the county and the state. So we have the executive committee man and executive committee woman and alternates. Alternates are elected to be the backup in case the executive committee man or woman can't make it to a meeting. So you see there what they are responsible for. These are also 4 positions that will be up for election in March 1st. So that is what we will be voting on from a county party perspective. Once we have elected those positions, then the first executive committee meeting gets together in March, a couple weeks later, and they then appoint or vote in these other positions. And these are ways that you can get involved as well. You could be a treasurer. George Swindell has served as our faithful treasurer. You're going on 50 years as treasurer at this point? Since forever, right? So he's been doing a diligent job. He just does it. He does it accurately, does it quietly, and we thank him for that. But the treasurer is appointed or elected by the executive committee after their first meeting. The secretary, Lane Horowitz, has been our secretary for a while. Thank you for that as well. The community care coordinator, Carl. Where are you, Carl? Oh, there's Carl. He's been our community coordinator. Again, these are all up for appointment or election again. Some new positions that we have not utilized before that the executive committee met and wants to fill: a fundraising director. All right, who's going to be in? You got George, he's the treasurer, but we want somebody to give George money to count. So to be in charge of our fundraising efforts, daily or the monthly fundraising, the fundraisings that we do with the fish fry and the Carnell Drummond Maize dinner, somebody to kind of oversee all of that. Volunteer coordinator is also a new position. Whenever there's an activity to be filled, we want to have a single person to be responsible for gathering the volunteers and organizing them. And then finally, a communications coordinator. What we at a party have done better than any party in this state is our communications, our email newsletters, our social and digital media, our audio and video. We are far, even bigger than Richland, even bigger than Greenville, right? Bigger than those cities. We have done a fantastic job of that. And so we need to have that as a permanent position. So we want to make that a part of the committee. Also, at the very bottom of the page, you see precinct captains. We have 50 voting precincts in Greenwood County. We are allowed to have one precinct captain from each of those precincts. Usually it's just a volunteer. You never really have a fight to see who's going to be a precinct captain. I think at most we've had 10 precinct captains, leaving 40 precincts unrepresented. But a precinct captain is a member of the executive committee. They have a voting voice. They have the ability to bring ideas and participate in those monthly meetings and help determine the course of the county party. All you need to do is say, I'm in precinct Biltmore Pines, or I'm in Livy's Knoll, or I'm somewhere else, and I'm going to represent this precinct, and as long as nobody else does, you're in. If multiple people want to be a precinct captain for the same precinct, we may have to have a little executive committee election, but that typically hasn't come to pass. So we would like to have a concerted effort during this off-election cycle, during this year, to try to fill a precinct captain for each of those precincts. You show up to the meetings, and we do offer these meetings by Zoom or in person. We give that option, and you can participate in steering the strategy of our county party. So this is what we will be voting on on March 1st. If you are interested, you can nominate yourself for one or more of these positions. For example, you could be a second vice chair and a volunteer coordinator, if that interests you. Or you could be a precinct captain and the chair. That's allowed. I mean, you can't be chair and first chair and second chair, like that has to only go to one individual, but some of these other voluntary positions can be fulfilled. If you go to our website, gwdcountydems.org, and by the way, on our agenda is a little QR code you can scan. You can find links to all of this. You can fill out a Google form and nominate yourself. Just put in your name, email address, phone number, and then check the items you're interested in, and we will then announce the nominees throughout the course of the month. You could use our social media platforms to get the word out. So if you're running for second vice chair and you have a good picture and you have a campaign message you want to do, we'll send that out for you. We are not going to tilt the scales one way or the other. It's not up to me to determine who the next leadership is. It's you. But we want to help you with that communications. All right? So we will be fully on board to help share whatever information you want. Please go to gwdcountydems.org. Right there on the front page, you can see these 3 buttons you see on the screen here. There's a button at the top that says, sign up today to register for the convention. We need a head count. Only those who sign up in advance get lunch, guaranteed. Okay? If you didn't sign up in advance, you're at the back of the line for lunch. You might not have a sandwich. So we need people to pre-register. This is not so much the lunch side, that's the incentive, but by law, we have to submit an attendee list. So please pre-register. That makes it go by a lot faster. Then there is a button there that says read about the positions, which means this. So this is all in writing on our website. You can click that button and read it. And then the last button that you'll see on the page is file to run. There's no filing fee. I mean, if you want to pay me $5, that's fine. I won't say no, but there is no filing fee. It's just fill out the form, and then we'll be right in touch with you with next steps. Okay? I hope you run. And I'm telling you, I'm serious. I am not running again. I'm moving on to different phases of political activism, as many of you have seen, and I'm enjoying it. But I also want to enjoy watching somebody else grow and mold and change and shape this party for years to come. These are 2-year terms, by the way, in case you want to know how long you're signed up for. 2 years. And then in March of 2027, we'll go through the process again. So it is a 2-year commitment that we are looking for. All right, one last thing about what we're doing at the convention is we are also taking names for delegates to the state convention. More information on that will be coming, but the South Carolina Democratic Party Convention in Columbia, and I think it's going to be at the state fairgrounds again, like it's been in the past, is on Saturday, May 31st. And the Blue Palmetto Dinner is that Friday night before May 30th. I don't have it on the agenda yet, but feel free to write it down, May 31st. It is a free event to attend, but if you want to be allowed to vote on state policies, in fact, the state executive committee is up for election as well. Crystal Spain, who's our current state party chair, that position is up for election. I don't know if she's running again or not. She hasn't announced. At least I haven't seen it. But all of those positions, chair, first, second, and third vice chairs, they're all up for election as well. To vote on those positions and to vote on any other resolutions or policies that may be up, you have to be a delegate. And we are allotted a certain number of delegates from Greenwood County. So we will be voting on that. And also on that form where you file to run, there is an option there that if you just want to be a state delegate, you can do so as well. You could be a delegate to the convention. So I want to see some names starting to roll. I love it you come to our breakfast meetings, but now I think it's time to step up and be a delegate or be a member of the executive committee. Whew. That's a long time to spend on one slide. I apologize, but it's good information we need to share. If you have any questions, feel free to come see me after the meeting. I'll be around for a while. Or if you just even want to explore or talk about running for one of these positions, I'll be happy to answer any questions without any pressure.